So, yes. Okay, so we have video, and we have audio, and Scarlet Hollow is on here. Oh, wait, maybe I need to update the game. Okay, properties. And by update the game, I mean switch it. I was previously just playing Chapter 1, but I have since bought the full game, so. Also, let's mess with... Sorry, this was very, very last minute, so... And I often start not totally prepared, so I started even less prepared. Basically, I've been playing Scarlet Hollow for the last 4 hours, and then I finished Chapter 2, and I had this fun idea for a concept run I decided to play, and then Tapao was like, stream it! And I was like, okay, actually, because, I got nothing going on. So I actually did, yeah, I said this, I think, when my mic was muted, but I turned my light low for, you know, spooky ambiance, but because of my filter and the way my computer screen reflects, you can't even really tell. So that's why I have a slightly spookier than usual background, which is just the easiest background, okay. Of the backgrounds I had saved, this one looked the spookiest. I originally actually loaded it for a D&D Zoom game that was like, you know, we were properly dungeon crawling, so I'm gonna do also a bit of shifting on this and undo top of the one. Yeah, and then we put this punk in the middle for now. Oh, and because this is a very story-focused game, I try to minimize stuff on things like that, so let's maybe put me in the corner. Yes, okay. Yes, that is why I am suddenly in a dungeon, because spooky. I wonder actually if it would... Nope, that just looks horrible. Nope. I wonder if I could, like, get a sense of... Yeah, see, that's the difference between having, like, my ring light on and having it off. Like, you can only kind of tell that it's, like, darker. Ugh. Anyway. Alright, so the concept, as per referenced in the title that we're going for here, is basically I'm not going to say a strong and silent type, because I'm not going powerful build, but like a very, very quiet, mysterious person. And I also, I just arbitrarily, because I have like 4 other runs that I'm actively doing, one of which I'm streaming, one of which I'm recording privately for friends because it's the Karen run, and I'm not quite prepared to stream the Karen run because obviously, or not obviously actually, the character, I'm trying to play the character as the stereotypical horrible entitled white woman that tends to get called a Karen, as much as the game allows. So basically just taking all the asshole options as much as, like, the most asshole entitled option I can in any given scenario. And I'm just not prepared for that to be part of my streamer image, so I am absolutely unwilling to stream that run. But if you know me personally, hit me up, I'll send you the link. I might also provide it for subs, but, you know, we'll see. And then I have the run that I'm actually officially streaming, which is the the thembo. Would be a himbo, but for the non-binary. And I'm sort of mentally envisioning the character as kind of like non-binary femme. And that is, so my thembo run is the one I'm officially streaming. Then I have 2 that I'm running privately, one that's smart, Street Smarts and Kenai. That's my main run that I did privately on my own before streaming this game. And then I have another one that is Street Smarts and Powerful Build, because there was a specific combo I wanted to see how it played out in the first chapter, and then I liked where I was going with that character, so I decided to just keep playing with that run. And then for this run, the concept I came up with was that this character, right, I think I've already said this, but like mystical and talks to animals. And basically, because this game gives a lot of options where you can just choose to stay silent, this character speaks as little as this game can allow me to, unless it is to animals or with the mystic trait. So, as much as possible, this character is only going to verbalize when it is the speak to animal or mystic tagged options. So we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah, so just give me 1 second. Boop, boop, boop. I just want to type thing. So. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. My apologies, I just wanted to type a thing and post it to a different place real quick because I didn't prepare a lot, so I would normally have done this before I went live, but I realized I totally forgot, and it's like probably none of the places I post things involve, and I'll have to remember to delete my Twitter. Honestly, not enough people follow my Twitter for me to worry about the fact that it auto-posted an incorrect alert, so. Okay, so, on to properly the run. So, our name is Max, I decided, because I was just trying to think of like a generic name, and I had actually gone like a couple of panels into this run before Tapao was like, hey, you should just stream it. And I'm like, okay, it's a Saturday night. I got nothing going tomorrow. At least not until the evening. So, our name is Max. We live in the city of, I think I decided Silver Springs. I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie, I just remember that Silver Springs is the name of a city. I genuinely do not remember what state that is in, so it just sounds like a cool name for a city that sounds a little bit like Scarlet Hollow. So, okay. And I've decided I'm gonna play this character male because I like changing it up with the genders, and like personally I have in my profile and stuff, I am non-binary and I use she, they. So I usually switch between she and, you know, I love when games give me the they them pronoun option. Usually if they don't, I'll usually default she, her. I almost always will do a they them as my main run if I'm given that option, and then occasionally I just like to throw in, you know, have my character in a visual novel be male just for funsies. So that's what we're doing. This is Max, the very, very quiet speak to animal mystic. Mystical? So we're mystical, strange and unusual, and we see the threads of reality in ways others cannot. And we talk to animals, which I feel like actually kind of go together pretty nicely. The Silver Springs is in Maryland. I've been informed helpfully by Tapao. Thank you. Now I know. I probably should have known that, because the reason I even know... I'm not going to get into that, actually, because I was about to just make a reference to my job, and I'm like, what if I don't give the reference I was going to make might have been a little oddly specific, so I've decided to drop it. But suffice it to say, there was a while where I was working with a bunch of different city names throughout the country. So I now remember a bunch of city names, but I've always been a little bad at geography, so heck if I remember which state names match the city names that are now logged in my brain. I occasionally remember them for weird reasons, though, like... yeah. There's, like, you know, personal associations, or like, hey, there's some famous person that's from there, or things like that, so. Alright, mystical and talk to animals. Confirm. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particularly nasty bump. You feel like you'd only just managed to start drifting off, and now here you are, awake again and still exhausted. For a moment, you're hazy on the details of it, where exactly here is, confusing this bus with the many others that came before it. But as your mind continues to reassert its existence in the waking world, the past few days come back into focus. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and CD depots that felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Pearl Ann Scarlet. Your cousin's mother and your aunt seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Fortunately, the end of your long journey is in sight. You're almost in Scarlet Hollow. Stranger. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm trying to decide if I actually want to do that to get the glare to go away. Because I'm noticing massive glare, monitor glare on my glasses because I turned the lights down to be spooky and my glasses are just not having it. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be changing, so we're just gonna have... Oh, no, maybe it was better with the light on. Sure. I'll leave the light on. Well, actually, I was like, maybe it will make me feel less spooked if I have this light on. And I'm like, maybe it'll make me feel more spooked. So, just apologies in advance. I cannot even pretend to be able to read the screen like this. So, monitor glare glasses it is. A stranger. So anyway, as I was saying, oh no. He's still there. He's been sitting next to you for the past 5 hours, talking at you without pause. You're not sure he even stopped when you started to doze off. At first you thought he was just being friendly, but that was several hours of one-sided conversation ago. Stranger. I was up in Maryland looking for work, but mostly messing around because I was a dumb teen. Me and my buddies were doing our usual prank stuff. You know, pushing joggers into the harbor, that sort of thing. You do your best to keep a blank face. Waking up and, by extension, accidentally giving this strange man permission to keep talking to you was a mistake. Stranger. So this girl comes up to us swinging her purse and yelling about how she was going to call the cops or whatever. It was hilarious. She was actually hit my friend and he said it hurt a lot, so I guess she really was mad and not just playing. But she kept swinging and soon enough she lost her balance and fell into the harbor all on her own. We didn't even have to push her. We had a good laugh and fished her out, and her phone got soaked so she couldn't call the cops on us. We wound up hanging out all day. She kind of became my girlfriend after that. We've been on and off for about a year, so it's pretty serious. Though, about 5 months ago, she tried to break up with me, like, for real? And geez, you ever just get so mad you want to, like, kill somebody? I hate that the silent answer here is smile and pretend he didn't just say that, because I'd much rather my character be pretending he doesn't exist, but that's what we got. Oh, sorry, this new island, I only just saw that you said we got an ad. Let's see. If I did this, wait, why can't I see the thing? Okay, just let me know, in chat. Oh wait, you can't let me know when it's back. Oh no. Oh, you are back. Okay, you let me know on your own. Cool. So yes, thank you for letting me know about the ad. I'm gonna try to be on top of, like, you know, if at any point when I'm running a game like this, if there is an ad, like, absolutely feel free to tell me. I can stop, or I can rewind, or I can explain what happened. I don't want people to ever miss anything because of the ads, so. As particularly in visual novels where they're very story focused. So, yes. So, my preferred option for this character would be to pretend like this person didn't even exist and just not react at all, but since that's not an option, we're sticking with the silent run answer of smile and pretend he just didn't just say that. And I'm gonna pretend that we're doing our damnedest to smile in a different direction and pretend that he's not even there. You smile and pretend he didn't just say that. The stranger responds, frustratingly, I knew you'd get me. We understand each other. Somebody trying to break your heart. That changes a person. Makes them want to do things they never thought they'd want to do. I honestly could have killed that woman. Ha! Yeah, fuck this guy, by the way. Just heart. Like, this guy is awful. I mean, he's meant to be awful, but they succeeded. He's awful. Anyway, she's giving birth to our son right now, so I'm trying to get up to Virginia to be there for it. But I don't know if I'm, like, into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus to New York or something instead. I've always wanted to go there. Oh, also, I noticed that. I just want to squinch my camera a little smaller so I don't block any of the, like, choice text. But I think as long as it cuts off along this line here, I should be fine. Oh, hey, is my cursor not actually visible in the... That's fascinating. The cursor has this creepy little hand thing, and I was looking over expecting to see it in the video, but I guess I don't. And not that that's a problem, because, like, you know. Anyway. Just strange thing I noticed. So the cursor for this game looks like a creepy little disembodied hand So, you're losing out on that. Oh, yeah, and before we get too much further with this, especially since that was bad, just, you know, I'm gonna just do this regularly. This is a horror game. I'm gonna remember to add that to the title. So there is, at any time, anyone can type that !CW to get the content warnings. So yeah, just before we launch too deep into the game, because we've already had a slightly distressing thing happen. I don't know if this actually, well, anyway. So, Horrible Stranger continues. But I don't know if I'm, like, into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus to New York or something instead. I've always wanted to go there. Remain silent. You sit, awash in horror, but doing your best to keep a neutral face as this man admits he's thought about murdering the soon-to-be mother of his child. A child whose birth he is currently missing and considering ditching to go have fun in New York. Horrible Stranger. Anyway, where'd you say you were headed? And here, finally, our character has reason to speak. I've been called back to my ancestral home. My mother fled from her destiny there many years ago, but now that both she and her sister have departed from this world, I can feel it calling me back. The young man anxiously shifts in his seat. For one perceptible moment, it's his turn to feel uncomfortable, before he catches himself and heartily laughs. But, ha! We made him feel uncomfortable! Ha! Take that, horrible stranger on the bus. Stranger. A horrible stranger. I've decided to rename him, you see. His name is now Horrible Stranger. Oh, you must be talking about Scarlet Hollow, right? Or the Holler, as they call it in the mountains. That's the only other stop until this bus turns around, so if you aren't getting off at my stop, you must be headed up that way. Almost nobody ever goes there. I'm usually alone on the bus by now. Though, actually, I had a couple of buddies who went up there to work in the mine. There's a coal mine up in the Holler, you see, and there's always a job listed or two on the boards around here. I never wanted to do that kind of thing myself. I like my lungs the way they are, thanks, but my buddies got desperate enough to try it. I haven't heard from them in a while, now that I think about it. I should see if they're on Facebook and see how they're doing up there. Hope they didn't die! Ha! He looks back at his phone, for once focused on something other than you. Wait. That accidentally went a little too fast, so just coming back and reading this. Stranger. Oh, this is me! It was lovely meeting you. Hope you don't get too bored without me around to talk to. I think I'll be okay, buddy. Here, I have something for you. The stranger rifles through his pack before presenting you with a dripping bag of peanuts. Stranger. Horrible stranger. They're boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back. I noticed you haven't eaten much, so I figured you could use them more than me. Plus, they dripped all over my bag, so I don't want to carry them anymore. Tip. Sometimes picking a dialogue option establishes new facts about who you are. And I think they mean, like, you can say I'm actually allergic to peanuts here, and then that becomes relevant later in the game. And also, if you take the peanuts awkwardly, then you have the option to apparently offer them to everyone you meet in the game. Fitting a regarding Horrible Stranger nickname? Yes, I think so. Alright, so. I'm definitely... Let's scroll down. Crap. Okay, how do we be silent and not take the peanuts? Because I don't want the peanuts. Definitely not nice. We could take the peanuts, but I really don't want to. Maybe a no thanks, because that's, like, short and simple, and, like, it's not a lot of talking. I really don't want to eat the peanuts. They just look incredibly unappetizing. And I do not think that this character is so silent that they will just eat the peanuts. So of these options, I think the best choice here for this concept that I'm going for is... Oh, in fact, you put your hand up to... Oh, good. The game is letting me do that. Okay. So, in fact, you put your hand up to say no. It didn't even make me speak. Yay! So my character, instead of speaking, just went... Nope. Oh, okay, fine, and then said, I'm not really hungry. Stranger. Horrible stranger. There's still a good 45 minutes left in your journey, pal, assuming nothing goes wrong. Best to have them on hand. The young man sets the peanuts down on the empty seat next to him. The juices dribble out through the bottom of the bag and on into the upholstery, instantly soaking it in peanut brine. Horrible stranger. And with that, I leave you. Finally. Safe travels, friend! Ugh. 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 And just like that, you're alone. The stranger's peanuts soaking into the seat across from you. Maybe you can finally get some sleep. Bus driver. Next stop, Scarlet Hollow, end of the line. Almost there. The bus finally comes to a stop, its brakes squealing as it deposits you in front of the Scarlet Hollow bus station. The sign at least reads bus station, but calling it that feels disingenuous. At best, it's a kiosk. Though, for a small town like this, you're amazed that there's so much as a road, let alone a bus that drives on it every week. The driver quickly shuts the door behind you and starts the engine, kicking up dust clouds as he pulls away, eager to leave you and this place behind. Question mark. Obviously Tabitha. Well, I guess not obvious if you haven't played the game, so yes. Mysterious person who's just shown up. Hey, Max! You instantly recognize the worn young woman from the few public photos on her Facebook page. She's your cousin, Tabitha, and she looks annoyed to be here. Remain silent. You say nothing. Tabitha. Let's get back to the estate. I don't want to spend any more time down here than I have to. Your cousin turns and motions to an old BMW parked near the bus kiosk. You follow her, clambering into the dusty relic. This should also be a bit of a faster chapter now that I think about it. Only people we're really going to have extended conversations with are the animals, of which there are very many in this game, to be fair, so don't mind me, just... It doesn't take much driving before the only signs of civilization are the car you're in and the road you're on. Tabitha maintains an icy silence as she focuses on the road. And then this is where it tells you that dialogue options that are labeled Explore can usually be taken without advancing the story, but they can impact relationships and unlock additional story paths, so choose carefully. Yep, I'm choosing very carefully. I got a concept. I'm rolling with it. We remain silent. You decide to sit in silence with your cousin as the car eases up the steep mountain road. And here it is, the Scarlet Estate. Though it's seen better days, its crumbling elegance is not lost on you, someone used to cramped apartments in gray cities. Your mother told you about this place many times before she passed, always with an anger burning beneath her words. The Faded Majesty you once imagined doesn't quite compare with what's in front of you, a jarring blend of opulence and ruin. As you stare at it perched on the crumbling cliffside, you can't help but feel like it's something that should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. Fewer animals in Chapter 3, that's fair. Although I have wondered if you can talk to Ghost Gretchen. Oh, and you know what else I realized doing a talk to animal runs means? Like, when I was filming for the Karen run, who also can speak to animals, because I did the accents, like, no problem, because I wasn't really worrying about people seeing them. But now I'm like, well, I'm still going to try to do the animals' accents. Please forgive me if they're bad. They're not, like, anything weird. It's like a French accent and a Southern accent, so. I can vaguely sort of do both, so I'm going to do my best. The Faded Majesty, right, I already read that. Should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. As soon as you enter, you're hit with a blast of dusty air. Everything in this room has been here for much longer than you've been alive, each object cemented in place with layers of dust and cobwebs. You can hear doors creak on their hinges and the aches and moans of ancient floorboards as the house itself sways in the wind. Tabitha. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. If you know what's good for you, you'll stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen. And the hallways, I guess, but only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. I'll show you around so you know where it's safe to walk. You can leave your bags here for the time being. Remain silent. Tabitha says, I see that you're in awe. You should be. This house was the prize jewel of this region for a long time. It's quite a magnificent piece of architecture, even now. So, shall we take our tour? Follow me. Man, getting Tabitha to be the chatty one is kind of amazing. You put your bags down and follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. She delicately steps over holes and tears in the floor, and you do your best to trace her steps. Tabitha. Kitchen. On Wednesdays, a woman from town comes in and does the cleaning. Her name is Janie. I wouldn't recommend socializing with her. She'll talk your ear off. If you need any food, there's fixings for peanut butter and jelly. Don't touch my mac and cheese or my ice cream. Those are off limits. Oh, and you can also access the garden through here, but it's pretty wild, so I wouldn't if I were you. Some explore options prevent you from taking others. Choose carefully. Oh, there's something I can say here, for it is a mystical thing to say. So, let's see. I can feel the weight of the world pressing in on this place, as if the entire estate is a step away from crumbling to dust. Tabitha. Okay, geez, I get it. You think it's messy. I'll tell Janie to be more thorough this week. But you should know that there's only so much anyone can do with a country house this old. It's always going to be a little grimy and worn, unlike your sleek city apartments. If a little dirt bothers you, you're going to have a rough time this week. You misunderstood the significance of my mysterious spookiness, but I guess I gotta roll with, there's not a stay silent option here, so. Alright, what's next on the tour? Tabitha. Bathroom. Follow me. Max. Great. It's been hours since I've gone. Oh, it's so it's weird to have a character who's silent most of the time, but then occasionally there's like cut things where you always say the thing, so. It's been hours since I've gone. And I guess our Max is allowed to occasionally have normal human things to say. And not just talk to animals and spooky mystical things to say. So. As the two of you leave the kitchen, you pass by a tuxedo cat, sitting on the countertop. Cat. Talk to animals. Approach the cat. Tabitha. Don't try to pet Frou-Frou. If she wants to be pet, she'll let you know. Frou-Frou. Ne me parle pas. Okay, but we're gonna say that this person is... Yeah. Only when will speak, but only when no other option, unless it is a speak to animal or a mystical option. So, on the one hand, like, I feel like well, no, because see, right, I decided that full speech to animals is fine. Like, this person will only, in fact, that's kind of the thing I want it to look like from the outside, will only speak to humans in strange and mystical ways, but we'll talk to animals totally normally. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna say... Max. I'm sorry, little lady. Je ne parle pas français. Frou-Frou. Of course. How typically... I had this better before, but see, now that I know that more people are watching me, it's kind of like, of course. How typically American. I shall debase myself by speaking your tongue, but only so that I might insult you directly to your face, you uncultured swine. Yay. Okay, I feel like I didn't do too bad, but like I said, I'm not a professional here. I'm doing my best with the accents. They'll not be perfect, but I'm gonna try them because I actually can kind of do most of these accents, and I think it's cute that the animals all have accents. Tabitha. Ha ha, very funny. Her name sounds French. Stop wasting my time and let's finish the tour. You once again follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. Maybe after a few nights it'll get easier to navigate these spaces, but for the time being you feel lucky to have not fallen through the floors. Tabitha. Guest bathroom. Not much to show. It's a bathroom. I'll wait outside. Do what you must, if you must. It is a nasty, wretched bathroom. Piles of junk sit untouched in the corners of the room, and mystery stains paint the floor. Lift the toilet seat. Bugs. Scram, fellas! The jig is up! Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a very... For all that this character is, like, very spooky and mystical, but normal with animals, similarly, I have decided he is very down-to-earth and just does not sufficiently care enough. And plus, like, I've decided Max is a cis dude, and therefore he has that slightly easier to not have to sit on gross toilet seats scenario. Okay, now with that aside, right, so the bugs were very cute and I liked them. So, use the facility. See, I do think it's a really different question if you're trying to decide if you're like a, you know, anyway, I actually don't want to get into the specifics of bathrooms I've decided. So, cutting that line of thought off before I get into it. A toilet is a toilet. Sure, it could be cleaner, but your business needs doing, and this is as good a place as any. You do what you must and rejoin your cousin out in the hall. Tabitha. Next step, guest bedroom, last stop on the tour. Follow me. You and Tabitha briefly return to the foyer before climbing the stairs and reaching the guest room. The room smells old. Dust, mildew, wood rot, it has it all. A week of sleeping in this place might give you permanent lung damage. Tabitha. This is where you'll be saying, the linens are fresh, I had Janie wash them last week. I had to endure a half-hour rant about her kid to get her to do it, so you'd better be grateful. The closet is full of old family stuff, so you can't hang your clothes up, but you can use the dresser. It should be empty. Oh my, there is a mystical option here. Max, which is our character. I sense a heavy spiritual fog hanging over this room. People have died here, haven't they? Tabitha. When? This house is almost 150 years old. Obviously, people have died here. That's interesting. People have died in this specific room. Fascinating. Anyway, remain silent. You can't think of anything else you'd like to say, but if there's one thing for certain, it's that you're not the sort of person who likes to, or who even knows how to, verbally end conversations. Okay, I like that is established as a fact about Max, because that's true. You remain silent and wait for Tabitha to say something. Tabitha. I take it you don't have any other questions. Good. Follow me. I'll take you back to the foyer so you can collect your belongings. Tabitha. This concludes our tour. I'm afraid I must return to my duties, so you'll have to entertain yourself for the rest of the day. Don't expect to see much of me. Tip, some dialogue options will open additional conversation paths, some right away and others down the line. That's okay. I'm just gonna let Tabitha leave. There wasn't, as long as there wasn't, like, something I missed there. I would have noticed if there was a missed, well, I don't trust that I would have noticed because I was talking over it, so we're just gonna go back real quick. Okay. Yeah, no, all of those were normal Explorer options. Let Tabitha leave. You decide to let Tabitha leave for work. Tabitha. Are we all set then? I'll see you tonight. Your cousin leaves through the front door. And now it's just you. You in this sprawling, decrepit estate. I guess I can really kind of do any of the exploratory things, but for the sake of timeliness, because it is already quite late, I'm gonna skip the whole PB&J mini puzzle. I think Max is gonna go to the Forbidden Wings of the State. Just to try to understand the spoopiness of this house a little better. With Tabitha gone, there's no one stopping you from going into the Forbidden Wings of the estate. Except for the locks and chains sealing them shut. Alright, nothing interesting here without street... Oh, I wonder what street smart and mystical... Oh, dang it. Alright, I'll have to do another run for myself, and hopefully it won't turn into a whole nother full-fledged character. Hopefully I can just do street smarts and mystic just to get the... Because if you have street smarts, you can pick the locks, no problem. And then there's some interesting spooky stuff on the other side, and if you also have powerful builds, you can get to another room past that one, and even more interesting and spooky stuff happens. It's nothing, it's all pretty minor, like, expository, like, or rather, specifically not expository, minor flavoring stuff. It's nothing, like, that's big, or that's a big deal if you miss it, or a big deal to see it, but it's cool little details, that we cannot see this run. So, yeah, nothing interesting happens in the kitchen besides the PB&J mini puzzle, so settle into your room. Now that your cousin is gone, the aches and pains of your journey sink into your bones. Oh wait, no, something does happen in the kitchen. Crap. I forgot. Furfu is there and we can talk to animals! This is a really handy feature, by the way, the autosave. It autosaves at every choice. So if you just immediately made a choice that you wanted to do in a different order, or you didn't like the choice you made, you can go back to the last couple choices you made and do them different. Oh, that's fair. You think it's actually pretty big if you have the powerful build and get through to where you can clearly feel/see. I mean, person might be stretching it. Something with eyes, though, for sure, which is a whole pile of creepy. So we're referencing I have played it through with street smarts and powerful build. And so, yeah, I might as well just share it for anyone watching this later. So, the first room is, like, really damaged, so you can immediately see why this place is, like, locked up, because it's, you know, whatever creepy stuff is going on in there, it's also very practical. It is not safe to be back there, even a little. So, you get to the first room, and you hear the sound of a piano playing, and it's like, well, it could be a self-playing piano, I guess, or it could be there's someone else here. I had forgotten that, thank you to Pau. And so so you get to the first room, and it's an old ballroom, and there's a huge gash through the floor. And then there's also a bunch of furniture that's blocking another door, and you have to have powerful build to move that out of the way. Nothing much happens in the ballroom. There's like a family tree that your mother's face has been scratched out of. And you hear the piano music, but you can't get closer to it unless you have powerful build. If you have powerful build, you move the furniture out of the way, and you go through the second door, and you see the piano. There's a even bigger gash in the floor, so you absolutely cannot progress further there. But you see the piano on the other side from the gash, and you see you like get sort of a sense of someone moving, and you see in a doorway eyes looking at you. Whole thing's very creepy. So that's what we're missing. So Max knows none of that, because he is neither street smart nor stroke. So we're gonna say a PB&J sounds great right now, but really just because I want to talk to Frou-Frou. You haven't had anything to eat all day. The only thing louder than your stomach right now are the creaks and moans of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds like exactly what you need to take on the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, ready to craft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting task, given the state of the place, but the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh your fear of food poisoning. To get started, you'll probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, a plate, and a knife. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to approach Frou-Frou. Frou-Frou hisses as you draw near and remains firmly in place. Frou-Frou. You might want to talk to me, but I don't want to talk to you. Go away! Let's see. I believe there comes you cannot ask Frou-Frou very many things, because she will just get bitey. Yeah, you can get to the first room with Mystic, and I want to see what happens if you do. And I am assuming that later chapters are going to allow you to go further into the Forbidden Wings, because I'm sure that's going to become super relevant later in the story. Okay. Hey, let's ask the cat. Do you know what's in the sealed-off part of the estate? Frou-Frou. Nosy, aren't you? But of course I am not surprised. You seem to enjoy poking your head where it doesn't belong. I don't know where that accent was going. It's supposed to be French, though. Can you tell me about Tabitha? What can you tell me about my cousin? This is the first time I've met her. Frou-Frou. Spare me your life story. Tabitha at least knows not to bother me. Can you tell me about my aunt? Can you tell me about Pearl Ann? I never knew my aunt. Frou-Frou. She's dead. I don't waste my time on corpses. If you won't take the hint, I suppose I'll have to take things into my own hands. Frou-Frou lunges at your hand and bites you hard. You back away. Check out the garden. The garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. It might not be very safe, but who's to stop you from venturing deeper? Explore the garden. You wander further into the garden. It's quiet out here. Turn to the kitchen. I have yet to find anything that you can actually do by exploring the garden in that first part of chapter 1, but gosh darn it, I sure am gonna try. Every time I have a new set of skills, which I do because I've not done Mystic on this yet. You head back inside and close the door behind you. On second thought, you're not actually hungry anymore. Okay, this is a little mean. This isn't actually my intent. I just didn't really feel like going through the peanut butter and jelly mini story, so we're gonna pretend that the character is a little less fussed about the state of the kitchen and is just like, I only came down to pet Frou-Frou. Settle into your room. The aches and pains of your journey have started to sink deep into your bones. You stumble up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. Let's go straight to put your spare clothes in the dresser. You drag your suitcase over to the dresser and open the bottom drawer. An opossum lurks within. It is quiet but angry. Opossum. Afraid! There's so many options! I'm gonna start with, a friend! I know hurt. Opossum. Afraid! Even louder. Let's see. Yes, let's go with, can you tell me about the human who lives here? Opossum. Which human? But Perlan died. Only one human lives here. Dustin not good with names. 2 human live here. Can you tell me about the... Okay, Dustin, can you tell me about the 2 humans who live here? Dustin. 1 human sad. 1 human scary. The sad human. Can you tell me about the sad human? Cries. Gives Dustin bad sleeps. Can you tell me about the scary human? Always watches. Eyes hateful. Never mind. Thanks for the help, Dustin. Dustin. K! Sorry. Let's see. What's in the Forbidden Wings? There's a door there with a bunch of locks and chains on it, and I want to know what's behind it. Dustin shivers. Dustin. Bad place. Not safe. Dustin no visit. What are you doing in my drawers? Dustin. Warm. Dark. Yeah. Max likes animals. We're gonna fashion our clothes into a nest. You poor thing. You look cold in there. You gently lay your clothes on top of the creature, arranging them in a little nest. Dustin closes his mouth, somewhat more at ease than before, and looks up at you with his shiny black eyes. Dustin. Human is kind to Dustin. Dustin will remember this. Oh, that's great, because there's so many of those games that character will remember this. And it's like, aw, Dustin will remember this. You close the drawer, satisfied with yourself for a job well done. Alright, I don't really feel like taking a nap or checking the closet. I kind of already know what those things do. Look out the window. You can only imagine how beautiful the garden must have been in its heyday. This is if you owned the place, you'd totally make it all nice, but not right now. Sure, whatever. That's enough for now. So yes, this is not a proper informative run. If you want a proper informative run where I actually explore all the dialogue choices and stuff, you should watch my other run where I play a character named Pingu, who is a Thembo. This run is just to see what happens with the silent speak-to-animal character. So I'm going to be skipping a lot of, just sort of descriptive stuff like that. And we can always just say Max just doesn't care that much. Not that interested in things that are not mystical or animals. Doesn't seem like there's much else for you to do here now. Might as well head to town. Now that you're settled in, there's not much left for you to do here other than to head out and explore the town, so you do just that. If you'd have known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you probably would have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. If only you could wipe the slate between the two of you clean and bury some of the tension. Though, maybe her mother's funeral isn't the best time for something like that. Then again, maybe it's the perfect time. It's really pretty out here. Finally, you made it back to town. The Holler, as that guy on the bus called it, has probably seen better days. It still has the feeling of an idyllic country town, but its sidewalks are cracked and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. Doggo! I've said this before in my other run, and I'll say it again. I don't actually... I have a dog phobia in real life, but animated puppers are very cute, and it's like, I can understand what you all see in cute puppers when I see them in a completely safe, cannot come through the screen and harm me, illustrated fashion, then they're very endearing and very cute. So, Gretchen. Why, I do declare, who is this gorgeous stranger? Person. Sorry about that. Gretchen can be very slippery when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause havoc. And of course, we're not actually talking. We're only talking to the dog. It's nice to meet you, Gretchen. I'm Max. Gretchen. My, oh my! I can't remember the last time I met a newcomer who was so wonderfully polite. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Max. Stella. Ha! That's a funny way to introduce yourself. I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral? You remain silent. Stella. No need to be coy. I'd recognize those sunken eyes and rigid cheekbones anywhere. You must be Tabby's cousin, right? Upon mention of your cousin, Gretchen mutters under her breath. Gretchen. One of these days, I'll get that Tabitha to pet me. Stella. That's the only person I can think of who would come to town for the funeral. How's she holding up? To be honest, I've been a little worried about her. Yes! What? Oh, right. No, she's struggling to be her real self, I think, is what that means. She's in conflict with herself. Whoever I met today isn't the real Tabitha. Stella. I hope you mean that metaphorically. I hope I mean that metaphorically, too. I think I might mean that a little bit both ways. Like, I think probably my guess, based on having played a lot of this game, is that Tabitha is essentially trapped there by whatever wackadoo mystical curse nonsense is going on with the Scarlet family. And is forcing her, and because of that, kind of like we saw with Edwardina, is kind of forcing herself into a role that isn't natural for her. And so that is how I see it, as some level of mystical and some level of metaphorical, both. Like, I don't think, like, there's nothing that has actually read to me in my interactions with Tabitha in any of my runs that Tabitha is possessed. Or at least not wholly possessed. Like, she's still mostly herself, but it's very, very, very clear that she is not happy with the way she is living, and she's forcing herself to be okay with it, so. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is a mystical aspect to her forcing down her true self to be the way. Okay, yeah, Tapao thinks that we're being quite literal and that Tabitha is actually not Tabitha, but I think it's a little. I think Tabitha is not being allowed to be Tabitha, is what I think. And not that she's literally someone else, so. Stella. To tell you the truth, she's always been a little rough around the edges, but most people don't really catch on to that. It'll probably be good for her now that you're staying there, even if she doesn't think so herself. I wonder, I'm now thinking, like, Stella feels like Stella actually kind of got through to the person that Tabitha could be underneath whatever else is going on with her. And that's why she likes Tabitha so much. Alright, so. Remain silent. Gretchen. Oh, before it slips my mind, if you're staying up in that spooky old mansion, you must have met the Frou-Frou. How does that monster fare? The three options for talk to animals here are, Tabitha's cat. Unfortunately, we've met. I think Max likes all animals pretty equally. I will pet her if it's the last thing I do, has possibility. But also, it sounds like you and Frou-Frou have a history, is fascinating. Or ignore Gretchen lest Stella discover your quirk. I don't think Max has ever done that in his entire life, so. Like, basically, I think he has always just been the weird kid who is spooky and mystical and only talks to animals, and his only friends are animals, so. So, we're gonna just talk to Gretchen. It sounds like you and Frou-Frou have a history. Stella. Wait, what? Are you messing with me? You can't actually talk to my dog, right? Say nothing. You and Stella maintain silent, awkward eye contact. Gretchen. Well, next time you see that devil, please send my regards, and do let her know that not only do I still draw breath, but that I very much still plan to outlive her. Oh, I'm really sad that there's an option in this game where Gretchen does not get to outlive Frou-Frou. But I'm gonna help Gretchen try. Anyway, sorry, game spoilers again, but again, this is a atypical run because I've already played this game personally myself. I've played up through chapter 2 and I've watched Catawba Vulcan play chapter 3, and I have a proper run where I'm playing the game a little bit more normally, and it's a little bit of a concept run, but it's a concept run that allows me to do more of the exploration and question asking and stuff. This concept run, my character is very much the silent type and only speaks when it is a mystic or a talk to animals option, or there is no option to stay silent. So, right. So Stella goes, oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. I was just on my way to the diner for some coffee. They've got amazing biscuits. My treat. Follow her. The pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast food hangs heavy in the air. In contrast with the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patrons realize that a stranger has entered the establishment. I looked up and oh, you can see my cursor now. For a second, I saw the little settings wheel over here on top of this guy's face, and I saw it wrong, and I thought something was horribly wrong with his face until I realized, oh, it's just so odd. So, like, if we do that, yeah, we'll see the proper face. That's what the face is supposed to look like. Alright, remain silent, as usual. Stella stepping in to try to make things less awkward. Hey, this is Tabitha's cousin. He just got into town for the funeral. I'm showing him around. Stella moves to the nearest booth, and you quickly follow. Stella. There's no need to be nervous, you know? They won't bite. New person. Hey, Stella, I went ahead and fixed you up a coffee. They gracefully place a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Stella. Aw, shucks. Thanks, Avery. Avery. And here's some bacon for the little lady. Gretchen. For me? For me? Gretchen sniffs the bacon and digs in. And then this is where they give you the tip that you can hide the chat box so that you can see the little puppy. Well, not puppy, pupper, though. Cute little pupper eating up the bacon. Avery, anything for you? Okay, we have to talk here because there's not a no talk option. So, the biscuit was recommended. And ordering a biscuit and a coffee feels like too many words to say. So, we're just going to order the biscuit, because that was the thing that Stella said to do. Max. I'll have a biscuit, please. I heard they were really good. Avery. Best in the county. Oh, and, I'm sorry for your loss. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone. Stella. Glad you took my advice with the biscuit. You won't regret it. Anyway, the funeral's not till Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. I'm trying to think if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night, so that's a fun thing to look forward to. And there's the weekly Sunday potluck. That should be right after the funeral, too, so it'll be a special occasion. You continue to listen in silence. Stella. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. As for the day-to-day, any idea how you want to kill time for the rest of the week? Yeah, okay, so the options here, no clues feels like the most obvious option. No clue. Honestly, I have no clue. Stella. Well, you're in luck, as you've happened to run into the person who knows all the best stuff to do around here and has limitless time to show you around. My boss is pretty forgiving. Oh wait, you probably wouldn't get that joke since we don't know each other that well. I'm self-employed, so I'm my own boss, so I'm forgiving myself. Get it? Oh my gosh! I'm sorry! Oh. So there's laugh uproariously, no. Yeah, I get it. Give a wooden laugh, or no. Please explain the joke. I think I might go with no, please explain. Unless that's actually... Oh, no, okay. I was like, unless that is being said sarcastically, but I don't think it is. So, sorry, I just want to go back. So, yeah. No, I think you should explain the joke more. Stella. Okay, so I'm self-employed, so that means I'm the boss of my company, which is just me. So when I said my boss is pretty forgiving, I was talking about me, the boss, forgiving myself, the employee, for slacking off and showing you around. Pretty funny, right? Before Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow. Gretchen. Is there nothing else coming for me? Gosh, if I'd known that plate of bacon would be my main and only course, I would have waited before digging in. Avery. Here's your biscuit. Winnie says it's on the house. She sends her condolences. Chow down. Oh, interesting. Mystical has a thing here. I didn't see all of Tapawa's run of Mystical book smarts on chapter 1, so this is kind of some new stuff for some of it for me. Oh god, that last one, do you mean the one I picked? Did you mean, no, please explain the joke more? Cause... I am choosing to assume that our Max was just like, I do not get the joke. Like, earnestly. Was too busy paying attention to Gretchen, maybe didn't hear everything Stella was saying, clearly. Mystical. You pick up the biscuit. It's delicate and fluffy. It nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You don't even need to taste it to know that it is good. Divinity given buttery form. That's so interesting! That's so interesting. So, like, I guess the aunt has a little touch of the divine. Because I assume that his aunt who owns the diner is the one making the biscuits. You take a bite. It melts in your mouth as if it was nothing but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough. Truly, this is a perfect biscuit. Yeah, enough to get Max to verbalize, so. Whoa, this is a really good biscuit. Wow. Stella. I'm so glad you like it. Of course, to be fair, clearly our Max also partially means this is a really good biscuit, and is technically saying something mystical. Avery lingers at the table for a moment. So, has Stella mentioned she's famous? Stella. Haha, oh Avery, I'm not famous. Avery. Look, if you're not gonna go around tooting your own horn, you know I'm gonna do it for you. Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. Remain silent. Avery. Stella's videos are really good. You should watch them sometime, Max. She hunts cryptids. It's like the Discovery Channel, but with better research. And just let the name thing go. You choose to ignore Avery mentioning your name before you'd been introduced. It's a small town. Word probably gets around. Avery. I think the best video to start with would be that river one. Not the lake, but, you know, the controversial one. Stella. Oh yeah, the Catawba River Runner. I didn't expect much out of that footage at the time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So, the River Runner is a cryptid that's only known from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts thought they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River, and that's all I had to go on. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows you a clip of something in a river. Stella. Some folks said it was a beaver, but if that was the case, it'd be at least twice the size of any beaver I've seen. I also had people saying it was a dog, or even a capybara that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. Gretchen. It was a mountain lion. I could smell its stink from miles away. Stella. I'm still not sure what it was, and I'm the one who saw everything with my own 2 eyes. Or saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. Yeah, Max is not particularly interested in hiding the talking to animals thing. People will believe him or they won't. That's where I'm going with it. Gretchen thinks it's a mountain lion. You decide to share Gretchen's insight with Stella and Avery. Oh, okay. So I guess I did that out of order. You decide to share Gretchen's insight with Stella and Avery. Max. Gretchen seems to think it's a mountain lion. Stella. Haha, very funny. You might have gotten me earlier, but now I'm onto you. You're not gonna trick me into thinking you can talk to my dog. As for your theory, no. No way. It is absolutely not a mountain lion. There are no mountain lions this far east. I did a whole video on the Appalachian mountain lion myth and found jack squat, and there is no reason one would be swimming in the river like this. They're not fans of water. And the body is too long. No way. Avery. Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Avery. Continuing. Sure, it's not like any local sanctuaries are missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of a sewer gator type situation. Stella. Haha, exactly. Some exotic pet owner set it free, and now it will forever roam the Catawba, confusing Boy Scouts and YouTube commenters for years to come. So, speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd like to come along? It's a pretty easy one this week. We wouldn't even have to camp anywhere. I'm gonna go after the... Avery. Wait! No spoilers. Stella. Whoops, sorry, Avery. Avery. It's okay, I should probably get back to it instead of standing around chatting with friends. See y'all around. Stella. Now that the coast is clear, I'm going after Skunk Ape. You remain silent. Stella. It's like Bigfoot, but smellier. Most skunk ape sightings are from Florida, but while I was doing research for last week's video, I came across a report where a lady from a town over claimed to have seen one on her deck, playing tug-of-war with her dog. And as I leave no stone unturned, I decided it was worth investigating. So what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against a darkening sky, that sort of thing? Okay, there is a remain silent option here, and I do kind of wonder what she would say if you just say nothing when she is asking you a direct question. But there's also a talk to animals, and talk to animals is a big part of this run, so... Talk to animals. That depends. Are you gonna be there, Gretchen? Gretchen. Oh, naturally. I wouldn't want any misfortune to befall my beloved Stella. I must stay by her side through thick and thin, however odd her passions may be. Precious! I love Gretchen! I'm having emotions. Stella. Of course. Of course. It's actually been a while since I've had anyone but Gretchen out there with me. Max. Say no more. I'm in. Stella. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I actually started the channel with a couple buddies of mine back in middle school, so it'll be kind of like a blast from the past. Me and Kanika and Reese running around in the woods, flipping over rocks and bothering salamanders. Our videos were terrible, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that mattered to us. You know, that gets me thinking. I wonder if they'd be down to come along with us. Get the old gang back together. Though, I guess Kanika has to close out the general store tonight, so I'm pretty sure she's a no-go. But Reese, I think there's a decent chance we could get him to come out of his hidey hole if he's up for it. Do you mind if I make a quick call? And she doesn't wait for you to say anything there, but I mean, not like Max would have anyway, so it's fine. Stella pulls out her phone and dials it, waiting while it rings. Stella. Reese, dude, what's up? It feels like it's been forever. Silence. Aw, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to come by, or... Okay, if you're really sure, but if you change your mind... Oh, I was just calling to ask if you wanted to come out to the woods tonight. I met somebody cool in town today. He's Tabitha's cousin. I know, yeah, just here for the week. Anyway, we're going out to look for Skunk Ape. We could take the easier trails if that would help. Dang, man, that sounds awful. I hope you take it easy tonight. I'll swing by sometime this week and we can have a more low-key hang. How's that? Haha, yeah, I'll bring him. Talk to you soon. Bye, bud. Gretchen. Reese. There's always been something off about that boy. I never did like the smell of him. I've been wondering, because I know we've had a lot of theories about Reese and like it being like a Munchausen sort of situation, or factitious disease as they keep bringing up in the game. But I've also been wondering if maybe actually he's some kind of like, there's something mystically wrong with him. Like he's some kind of like revenant or something. Like normal food makes him sick because he is not fully human and cannot fully digest human food. And would also explain why his mother's all tetchy about it. So, it's a theory. Stella. Looks like it's just you and me, pal. There's not a vampire. Yeah, exactly. Like, vampire and scared of him. I missed some of the stuff. I know that in chapter 3 you were hanging out with Reese, and you also have mystical. So I didn't see any of that. So I don't know if you actually got it like confirmed that Reese is actually a vampire, because that's the same thing I was thinking anyway. So that would confirm my theory. Oh man. I'm debating turning my light back up because actually the dim lighting is not, you know, great for my eyes. Oh shit! You didn't get confirmation, but noticed that Dr. Kelly was afraid of him. Oh shit, yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes me think that, nah, if she's actually, like, so tetchy because she's afraid of him, then that makes a lot more sense that maybe there's something, like, cursed mystical wrong with him. Yeah, I saw the part where you, like, accused Dr. Kelly of factitious. Alright, anyway, sorry, that's about chapter 3, so, we're not anywhere near there yet. So now I have to pick an option that is... Ooh, Max is not really talky, but there's just not a silent option here, so... you know what, maybe because Gretchen said something about it, we'll decide that Max cares just enough to ask Stella what his deal is. Max, what's his deal? Stella. He's not feeling well, that's all. He's had a lot going on in the past, gosh, 10 years or so? But I feel like it's gotten a lot worse recently. I can't remember the last time I saw him leave his house. Oh well, it's not my place to talk about, really. I just got a little excited thinking about having him along again. He's hilarious, you'd love him. We should swing by his place sometime this week. I'm tempted to say, ugh, haven't I met enough people already? But that feels more like a Karen thing to say. In fact, I think it is what I picked on the... So I'll do the neutral. We'll see. I don't know how much I should commit to doing this week. Stella. That's fair, but if you find you have the time, he'd love to meet you, and I think you'd get along. But we can talk about making friendship plans later. For now, we've got a skunk ape to hunt. So, we should probably head out if we want to make it up the mountain before it's too dark. Come on, let's blow this popsicle stand. You pause before getting up. Maybe it's time to make a good first impression. Yeah, I think he's not a people person, but that doesn't mean he's rude, so Max is going to leave a generous tip. You reach into your pocket and pull out a crumpled $5 bill. You know it's a bit more than one would expect to get from such a short dining experience, but you might as well share the wealth while you've got it. You smooth out the bill before placing it on the table inconspicuously. Stella. Well, that's awesome of you. Avery will appreciate that, I'm sure. Stella turns to leave the diner with you following close behind. It hadn't been very cold when you first arrived in town, but as the sun dips closer and closer to the horizon, a chill descends upon the hollow, and you see your situation with renewed clarity. You're in a new place, far from civilization and the people you know, following someone you just met into a dark forest in search of monsters. You feel... I'm gonna go mystical. You feel an overwhelming sense of foreboding, which seems only natural considering where you are. Your instinct screams at you to leave, but at the same time you're curious to see what the night has in store for you. You decide to go with the flow, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, and to not dwell too much on this strange feeling. Stella. Gotta love this brisk fall weather. This past summer was the hottest on record, since last year at least. You know how it is these days. Each summer is the hottest yet until the next summer, which always finds a way to be so much worse. It's just nice to feel a chill in the air and see the leaves change, like normalcy is restored, if only for a moment. Sorry if that was a bit of a bummer. We should talk about something more fun, like skunk apes. Max, let's move on. Stella, did you hear that? Question mark. Oh, calm... Ugh, gosh, his voice I was doing kind of a gravelly thing for. Oh, calm down, Gretchen, you old mutt. Gretchen. Oh, Duke, you rascal. Same to you, Stella. You're always jumping at nothing, girl. Stella. Phew, sorry for getting spooked, Duke. I thought you were... Duke. Some creature of darkness? Nah, girly. Just old Duke. Now what the hell are you looking for way out here? Stella. Skunk ape. Duke. Sorry I asked. And who's this you've suckered into gosh, I'm doing a little more heavily southern than I meant because of Gretchen's southern. Who's this you've suckered into coming with you? Wait a tick, you aren't... Is that... Stella. Yep. Duke. I see. Welcome to the holler. My condolences. I'll keep you in my prayers. Now both of y'all head on back to town, you hear? It's best you steer well clear of this area tonight. I'm out dealing with my own critter and won't be too appreciative if a couple of fools with a camera scare away the more sensitive wildlife. Stella. What are you hunting tonight? Something tall and hairy? Something musky? You see anything like that recently? Duke. Wouldn't you like to know? You never could stay in your business, Stella Richmond. Put that damned camera down. Stella. Aw, come on, Duke. Maybe I could help out. I'm pretty good at tracking. You know I learned from the best. Duke. That you did, but I have yet to see a shred of proof that you listen to any of it. The way you tromp around the woods at night yelling about chunkabungas or what have you. Something's been getting at my chickens. I've lost 3 this week and can't afford to lose many more than that. Stella. I am so sorry to hear that. But, I wonder if Skunk Ape has a taste for chicken. Duke. Now, see, this is why I don't come to you about these things. It ain't no Skunk Ape, whatever the hell it is. I know exactly what this is, and I know you won't believe me if I tell you. Stella. Oh, Duke, you don't think it's... Duke. I do, actually. It's those damn mountain lions. They're out there, Stella. I don't care what your little investigation turned up. You haven't been out in these woods as long as I have. These sons of bitches are sneaky. Of course you wouldn't find any in one night of tracking. And I know for a fact that's what's been getting at my chickens. It couldn't be anything else. It's so funny because, like, Stella, like, this is the running joke, right? That Stella is the believer in all things cryptid, but absolutely cannot accept the possibility that there are mountain lions in the woods, despite the fact that the game gives you many, many skills, will give you active evidence to the existence of mountain lions. With Keen Eye, you can immediately tell that the thing in the picture that in her river video is a mountain lion. Gretchen confirms with, Talk to Animals that it was totally a mountain lion. With Keen Eye, you can tell Stella the next day that you saw a mountain lion when you see some dead animals later in this chapter. But she is just so convinced that mountain lions, of all the things that she just absolutely believes to not be true, mountain lions. Stella. I'm telling you, man, mountain lions are extinct in these parts. There hasn't been an actual sighting since the 1990s, and even those were iffy. Gretchen. It's true. Oof, gosh, doing Duke to Gretchen is hard. It's true. There are mountain lions out here, sure as sin. They pee on all the best trees. Duke. I can't believe you go out there on your YouTube saying some river monster spotted by a couple of school-age Boy Scouts has been 100% confirmed, yet Appalachian cougars are some kind of far-fetched fantasy made up by old geezers like me. You made me look like a fool. I read those comments people were posting on your video. They were calling me all kinds of names just for seeing things with my own eyes that I know to be true. Stella. I'm sorry, Duke. I didn't mean to sick anybody on you. I just don't think it's plausible. Duke. You'll eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of those woods at dawn. And if you two don't want a face full of buckshot, I suggest you run home and stay out of the woods tonight. Mystical. As Duke's words leave his mouth, a sinking feeling starts to pull at your stomach, as if the 4 of you were inexorably creeping towards something terrible. There are many options, but one of them is mystical, so... Max. I don't think this ends well for you. Duke. How would you know? I go hunting in these woods all the time. Night, day, opossums, bears, it don't make a difference. Even a mountain lion wouldn't stand a chance against the ingenuity of man here. Stella. Unless it's not a mountain lion. Duke. Oh, don't you get started again. If your daddy could hear you now, going on about ghouls and goblins, using what he taught you to run around these woods like some kind of paranormal investigator. Do you want that to be his legacy, girl? And besides, you know my boy Bo and me are headed down to the state fair to show off Big Betty this week. Oh, this is making me sad. I don't like this extra information. So as it turns out, like, look, I'm just gonna spoil it. Well, oh gosh, I'm just having sads because this is more from Duke and on a run that I know Duke's gonna die. So it's a bit of a spoiler, but like I've played chapter 1 before, and the big crux of the crux choice of chapter 1 is that there is a moment where you have to decide whether you're going to help Gretchen or you're going to help Duke. Whichever one you don't help dies. And this is my Talk to Animals run, so I'm absolutely choosing Gretchen. And that means Duke is gonna die. And but I'm getting more personal information about Duke than I ever have on any of my other runs, and I'm sad about it. Pro tip, if you want to do a run with powerful build, that is the choice that gets you out, that is the skill that gets you out of that choice, because if you have powerful build, you can help them both. And in my main run, that is what I did. However, oh, Duke's not gonna make it. I mean, as I just said with my mystical senses, I don't think this ends well for you. So I'll read what he says. I'm just like, I've never heard him say this before, and it's more details, and I didn't even know who Bo was on other runs. And now I know it's his kid, and he's gonna be all sad about it. Oh, and they were going to a state fair, and... oh... oh... Anyway. Duke says, and besides, you know my boy Bo and me are headed down to the state fair to show off Big Betty this week. We'll be gone days, and the chicken coop might as well have a big all-you-can-eat sign on it if I don't nip this in the bud tonight. You know how I feel about my chickens. I couldn't take it if I lost any more of my poor little ladies. Stella, and you know I have to put out a video by tomorrow evening. Mystical. As Duke and Stella dig their feet in, the sinking feeling in your gut gains form and clarity. Somebody here is going to die tonight. Stella. If I miss an update, I might lose my new sponsor, and who knows what that'll mean for my career. Yeah, Max is taking the mystical option. Max. One of us here is going to die tonight. I can feel it. Duke. Now what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to threaten me? I don't know. It's just a weird... Max, our character, replies. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. A weird, bad feeling. Stella. Whoa, are you psychic or something? Your answers are signs point to yes, and my reply is no, maybe, or ask again later, which of course are all classic 8-ball answers. So, and frankly, Max is super double psychic. Like, he's got the mystical thing and he can talk to animals. So I'm going with signs point to yes. Max. Signs point to yes. Stella. Whoa, what am I thinking right now? Duke. Ah, hush, you ain't psychic. You're just trying to unsettle me, so I let y'all go off in the woods to film your little video. Stella. Max, I think you freaked Duke out enough for one evening. Maybe we should leave the poor man to his wild goose chase. Duke. I'm not freaked out by your friend's theatrics, but if he gets you out of my hair, sure, I'm greatly disturbed. Now run along home and stay out of trouble. As you and Stella return to the trail, she carefully looks back the way you came. Although I just gotta say, I would enjoy doing a mystical/powerful build run, because then it would be, you have all of this ominous shit where you're like, something horrible is going to happen, someone here is going to die tonight, and then you're just like, saved them all! Just this once, nobody dies! Haha, take that, spooky mystical feeling! And that would be so funny to me on a run where you both got the spooky mystical feeling and you were able to totally circumvent it. So I'm not going to, I like thinking about skill combos, but I'm trying not to start another new run, so we're going to not worry about that, we're just going to fantasize about how that run might look. As you and Stella return to the trail, she carefully looks back the way you came. Stella. Okay, the coast is clear. There's no way we're letting Duke edge us out that easy. Come on, I know a trail that'll let us get around him. Alright. I am going to silently follow, but I really need to like run to the bathroom, and don't want to wait until it's actually scary, and I really need to run to the bathroom because then I will be scared walking through my dark house, which I'm not alone in technically, but like Tom has definitely gone to sleep. So okay, I will be right back. I'll be back as quickly as I can. Okay, I'm back. Well, oh, I should have done an ad while I was AFK. You're so right. Too late now. Oh, well. Gosh. So, man, usually, I gotta admit, just this once, I'm really glad of Tom's tendency to not turn the lights off when he goes to sleep. And I thought about turning them off myself, because I'm just in the office, he's in the bedroom, and I was like, but what if... And then I looked over to the stairwell, which is the only part of the house right now that is fully dark, and got really spooked out, and I'm not even at the scary part of this chapter yet, and I'm like, what if I didn't turn off any lights yet? What if instead I turn on the light in the stairwell and only turn off the lights when I'm actually going to bed? And several of the lights in my house are controlled digitally too, so I can even leave some of them on until I'm all the way safely in my room. Alright. So Stella says, come on, I know a trail that'll let us get around him. And this being Max, the silent except for mystic and animal, we will silently follow. Stella, the trail's just up this way. Let's go. Alright, this looks like a good shot. Mind holding the camera? She hands you the camera and takes position. Stella. As night falls, my new assistant, the mysterious Max, and I find ourselves on a high hill in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where we'll begin our hunt for the elusive yet pungent skunk ape. Though mostly encountered in Florida, this possible relative of Bigfoot has been spotted all along the southeastern edge of the United States, including right in this very county. Here's hoping we'll get a glimpse tonight. We'll check back once we're on the trail. Until then, stay searching, Stellars. always thought her keep searching Stellars is cute because she's Stella, and so she calls her followers Stellars. And you know, as a streamer, I'm like, I can appreciate what you did there, and I think it's cute. And I've never done this on Talk to Animals, so I love that Gretchen speaks in the video too. Gretchen says, and keep digging, Gretchen. Gretchen calls, I guess, any of Stella's doggy. You know, I'm gonna assume that this goes out to any of Stella's followers' doggy friends. Keep digging, Gretchens. I just find it incredibly precious that Gretchen added a little stinger to Stella's thing. Or added a little bit to Stella's stinger, I guess. Stella, I can take the camera off your hands for now. We'll be able to start the tracking scenes once the sun sets all the way. In the meantime, we get to take in all this beautiful scenery. It's gorgeous out here, don't you think? Mystical. Though you and Stella are back on your own, the unsettling feeling that penetrated your gut earlier still remains. There's something wrong in these woods, though what it is still eludes you. Yep, we're going the mystical. Max. There's something wrong in the air. It feels oppressive, dark. Stella. You don't happen to mean stinky, do you? Do you think you're smelling the skunk ape? Aw, Stella. Aw. Well, I mean, yeah, Max could try to explain it, but like, nah, he's just gonna remain silent. Stella. You don't have to be so shy, you know? I wouldn't worry too much if I were you. My gut usually warns me if I'm gonna run into trouble, and I feel A-okay. Oh, Stella, honey. I'm not... Your quiet moment with Stella is broken by a loud, percussive snort. Stella. And of course, we remain silent, as usual. Stella. Did you hear that? That's the sound deer make when they want to warn the rest of their herd about big, scary predators, like us. Let's check it out. As you and Stella hear the footfalls of animals retreating into the woods, she reaches for her flashlight. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of light while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Oh shit, I forgot the deer could talk! The deer is an animal! All of the animals that are suffering that are still alive are gonna be able to talk to me! Oh, this is gonna be horrible. Deer. Pain, rot, decay. Gretchen. Oh dear, let me at him! How dare he infringe upon my dearest Stella's personal space! Let me at him! Then it's gone. I like that Gretchen really loves Stella. I mean, of course, doggos tend to really love their owners, and you kind of know that even when they can't talk, but aww. Stella. Jeez, Gretchen, calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself. Gretchen. Oh my, it seems I was consumed by a blinding rage. How very unladylike. What must you think of me? That's precious. Oh, I love Gretchen so much. Stella. She cannot handle deer. When she gets like this, I usually have to pick her up and hold her. She has a bad habit of slipping her harness when she wants to go after something. You're too much of a potato, and they don't make harnesses to fit potatoes, do they? Yep, I think we're gonna do the talk to animals. I think that deer was threatening us, or warning us. I do like every time I say something unusual or weird, which seems to be both the mystical and the talk to animal, either mystical or talk to animal things, people have a habit of getting yikes faces that I've never seen in any other run that I've done. Stella. I think it was just sick. That thing on its face. I'd bet it was an abscess, maybe a tumor. It's not like wild animals can get those taken care of, so they just get bigger and bigger. Poor thing. But there's not much we can do about it. Alright. Max does not talk. You remain silent. Okay, Max does not talk unless it is to animals or about mystical things. Hey, Stella. Hey, are you hungry? Now seems like a great time to take a snack break. As you settle down to rest, Stella breaks open a bag of assorted snacks. Oh, geez. I mean, on the one hand, I could remain silent, but on the other hand, I don't feel like it's talking to take food. I want to remain silent as much as possible, so you silently abstain. Nah, I don't like it. I kind of like silent but kind of friendly, so I'm going back. I'm doing that. We'll take the sesame sticks. You grab a handful of sesame sticks. Stella. Ah, the one stack I didn't make myself. I was hoping to wow you with my cooking skills, but I guess that'll have to wait for some other time. Nevertheless, a delightfully tasty choice. The chips of the hiking trail. Some would say chips are the chips of the hiking trail, but only a fool would bring such a delicate, space-consuming snack in their pack when that space could fit another bottle of water or more snacks. Fair enough. I just picked at random. You and Stella settle down on an overlook, snacks in hand, as the quiet sounds of evening wildlife wash over you. Gretchen gnaws a stick, distracted for the time being. Stella. So, tell me what it's like in Silver Springs. Do you have a house? An apartment? Do you live with family, roommates, pets? Tell me what it's like to be Max. I know the correct... The answer No, okay. This is a theme run. We're sticking with the theme. Because I'm tempted to say I live in an apartment with a difficult roommate because I know how that choice plays out. And, but nah. Shrug and remain silent. And I feel a little bad because it feels like I'm being cold to stuff. But you know what? No. Thematic concept run. Shrug and remain silent. At some later point, I might actually try a run where I genuinely stay silent every single time because I wonder if there's an achievement for that. But obviously we're not doing that because Mystic and Talk to Animals are my exceptions for this run. But this does not have either of those things. And this is a concept run, so we're sticking to the concept. Dang it. Shrug and remain silent. You shrug. Stella. Haha, very mysterious. Is it prying if I ask what you do for work? You say nothing in response. Stella. Silence is good too. Oh no, we're into the scary part. Man, imagine though, Stella has brought this total stranger into the woods with her who has been totally silent the entire time except to give dire warnings. I would, if in this scenario, I feel like Stella's the one that should be freaked out more than anyone else, but she's really familiar with the area. So, and I'm not saying that I think that automatically he should come off as dangerous, but you've just brought this silent, mysterious stranger with you. But I also really like how chill Stella is about, whatever you choose to do. And, it's not like our character has never talked, so it's not like... Anyway, Stella goes, whoa. Gretchen, my stars, what was that? Stella immediately packs her bag and slings it over her shoulder. Oh, geez. Okay, mystical has not. There's a mystical option. Max, that wasn't a sound meant for human ears. Stella, whatever made it is close. Here, hold Gretchen's leash for me and let's check this out. You and Stella inch towards the tree line as she shines her flashlight into the woods. Gretchen, do stay close, Max. I wouldn't want any harm to befall you. Oh, Gretchen is worried about us. Oh. Yes, Stella is a naive summer child. You are 100% right about that, Tapao. I like that Gretchen cares about us. Talk to Animals. As you approach, a series of weak clucks call out from a nearby bush. Pain! It's all pain! Stella. Maybe Duke's birds weren't eaten after all. Stella. What the hell was that? Hold on, I gotta play that back. Holy shit! I'm guessing it must be maybe 2-3 feet tall. Doesn't look hairy either, so I think we can rule out skunk ape. But whatever it is, it has one of Duke's chickens. It looks like it's headed north. Let's go after it. yeah. The typical Silent unless something feels relevant or it's talking to an animal. That's actually where I think I'm going with the headcanon for this character. It's like, basically, he just doesn't think that talking is terribly relevant unless there is something woojy to say. Let's see. So we're following Stella. Oh, and this feels like it might be a good point to just throw another content warning in, because we're getting into the spooky shit now. Alright. Follow Stella. You follow Stella as she sprints into the unknown, Gretchen excitedly pulling you along by her leash. Gretchen. Stella, my darling companion, are you all right? Stella. Oof. Concept run, we're saying nothing. You stare silently as Stella dusts herself off. I'm alright. I just tripped on something weird. Oh no, that poor thing. It must have been one of Duke's. Oh Jesus, it's still alive. Yeah, I think we investigate the chicken here because animals. So. You move towards Stella to get a closer look at the chicken. Stella. Don't let Gretchen too close. She'll try to take a bite if you don't stop her. Gretchen. I would never! Something about this bird doesn't smell right. You hold Gretchen's leash close to your chest. She squirms against her harness. We're gonna just... Oh, examine the head. Chicken. Why am I alive? Its poor little chicken eyes look up at you, glazed over, but still rolling around in their sockets with unfortunate life. Examining the wing, it looks like this is what Stella slipped on. The wing is still barely attached, but that seems to be the least of this chicken's concern. Examine the growth. Good God, at first you thought this might have been a tumor, but this is something else. The skin is stretched taut, at the growth pulsing beneath. Having investigated to your heart's content, you turn away to give Stella room to film. Stella. Ahem. It seems we found one of Duke's chickens, folks, and she's not looking good. I'm hesitant to speculate, but she definitely seems to have some sort of growth under her skin. Could be a tumor, could be something else. Either way, I don't think there's much that can be done for her at this point. Jeez, I'm gonna have to put up some massive content warnings for this video. Hey, do you hear that? I did pause a second so the audience can also hear that. Gretchen. There's something out there all around us. I can smell it. There's so many of them. Duke. What in the Sam Hill are you two doing out here? Didn't I tell you to... But Birdie? Oh, Birdie, what's wrong, darling? Good God. Did y'all see what did this to her? Say nothing. Stella. Duke, I'm so sorry. We were on the trail when we found her. Like this. Whatever... I just noticed for the first time that sometimes the KB Ditchling voices say real words. I heard this place is cursed and never return, and I do not like this late night run being the very first time I noticed that sometimes it's not just senseless whispering, sometimes it's actual words. This place is cursed, get away from here. Get away from here and never return. Okay, everything's fine, everything's fine. I'm fine, I'm cool, I'm good, Okay. I don't know how I never noticed that those were voices. I think maybe it's because, no, because I played this at least once through on headphones too, so I don't know. I think the last time I remember trying to listen for words, I was listening to it on my speakers and not my headphones, so it was a little less clear. Anyway, Stella says, whatever did this to her, I think we can hear them in the trees. Duke. Put that camera away, for God's sake, girl. I don't want to be in another one of your videos. No one needs to see me like this. No one needs to see Birdie like this. You wouldn't put her online, would you? Not when she's like this, all swollen and hurting. Stella. Duke, did you hear me? I think they're coming closer. Gretchen. You stay away from my Stella, you mongrels! And I see, so probably the earlier thing where Gretchen kind of freaked out about the deer and then was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I was overcome by blinding rage, is to explain why you can't just talk to Gretchen and be like, hey, Gretchen, stop, come back. Duke. Duke. Come out, you sons of bitches! Stella. Duke, don't shoot them. We have no idea what'll happen. How did I never notice that the ditchlings are saying clear words? This is so creepy. Oh, yeah, okay, it's the sound. It's that I have the sound up high enough. Yep, okay. Can you imagine, though, sitting here at 2 a.m. in the dark? Not in the total dark, it's only a little dim in my room. Talk to animals. You're right. You're right. They never talk normally. It's because of talk to animals. Okay. So they're animals. Okay. Nope. Thank you, Tapao. That makes me feel better because I'm like, how could I possibly have this? Is such clear, audible words. How could I have never noticed this? That is the really obvious answer in retrospect. Thank you. Normally, you only hear senseless whispering, but if you can talk to animals, you hear what they're saying. They're animalistic enough for you to be able to understand them. Yeah, and I mean, nothing that they're saying is actually threatening. It's just ominous. Leave and never return. Get out of here. This place is cursed. These are helpful warnings. But yeah, no, this is a great example of the creepy shit that you get. The creepy little extras that you get based on your skills. Get out while you can, I just heard also. See, I'm making myself feel better by listening to see how many distinct things I can hear. Get out while you can. More get out while you can. Okay, they're just cycling that now. Leave this place. Get away from here. Get out while you still can. Okay, I think we've caught all the things. So I think the only thing here that they're saying that's actually useful is this place is cursed. I mean, we kind of knew that, but, like, it's interesting to have the ditchlings confirm this place is cursed. Like, whatever's going on here, there is an ancient curse, and that's become very clear, but, like, oh, okay, also freaking you out, too. Cool. Cool. I just realized I'm sitting here, while I'm trying to make myself feel better, I'm also sitting here and subjecting all of you to the creepy noises and not moving anything on the screen, so let's continue. Duke. You hear that, Stella? That ain't the sound of something peace-like. Whatever these things are, they'll pay for what they did to my girls. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. Gretchen. I can feel that white-hot rage from earlier starting to wash back over me. I'm going after them! As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. I don't like this choice. This is... I've played 2 different playthroughs on powerful builds, so I'm spoiled for getting to make the both choice. But really, there's no question. This is a talk to animal run. We're saving Gretchen. You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder. Duke. God damn it! I don't like that. I don't like it one bit. You hear a body hit the ground, then quiet as the chaos fades and the sounds of nature creep back in. Stella. Gretchen? Max? Duke? Are you alright? Oh my god! That's a really not an appropriate thing to say when a guy just died, but I'm gonna say it anyway because... So yes, I did see that we have at least slightly more viewers, so I'm gonna, like, say it again. So what I mean by character concept run is that this is a run where our character, Max, he will usually, if there is he will eat, as much as possible, he will, in order, talk to animals, say mystical things, or say nothing. So it's a character concept run of a very quiet character who is very uncomfortable talking to people, but totally fine talking to animals, and will talk to people when there's something mystical to say. Which usually isn't, but I you know, it fits within my rules. I could just say nothing, which also fits within my rules, but it's a flow chart. So the mystical's at near the top of the flow chart, so we're saying this. Woe is me, a postmodern Cassandra. Okay, I warned you too, something terrible was going to happen. Woe is me, a postmodern Cassandra. Okay, fine, I said that maybe a little too mean. But, like, Stella's also kind of laughing there, like... I want to reread it, so I'm just going back. I warned you too, something terrible was going to happen. Woe is me, a postmodern Cassandra. Stella, ha, I guess you did. Gretchen, what happened? Did I lose myself again? I apologize. Oh, to be fair, she might not have realized. Right, sorry, I shouldn't have cut myself off in the middle of the thing, but I realized Stella might not have realized that, that Duke is dead at this point, so. Gretchen, what happened? Did I lose myself again? I apologize for being so easily shaken up. I'll do better. Stella, Gretchen, here, I'll take her. My poor little pup. Thanks for watching out for her. Duke, are you okay? Content warning. Oh my god, I have not ever watched that one. I'm so sorry, everyone. Thank you to Power for being on top of that content warning. Whew, that was bad. Oh, I did not enjoy that visual. Stella, oh my god, Duke! Oh, holy shit! What do we do now? What the hell are we supposed to do? Stand in stunned silence. You stand in stunned silence. You've seen dead people before, but never like this. And those things are still out there. Gretchen, what happened to Duke? Is something wrong with him? Why won't he get up? Puppy is unable to understand death. I don't like it. Stella, yeah. This is a lot. We're in way over our heads. Let me just check the camera real quick. Christ, this footage is so dark and shaky. Ugh, I hate to say it, but people need to know what happened here, Max. Duke's family deserves closure. Other people deserve to know what's out there. We need more footage. Come on, let's go after them before we lose our chance. Silently follow. You silently nod as your eyes meet Stella's. This might be a bad idea, but it's your and Stella's bad idea to make. Stella. And, you know, it's funny, because it's like, silence is making a decision more often than I think people give it credit for. Like, a lot of times I'm staying silent because, like, and thus taking a neutral path. But sometimes I'm by staying silent, that is a choice. I have decided to let Stella do this. Without objection, by staying silent. So, that's kind of an interesting way to look at the silent run. Anyway. Stella says, it looks like Duke managed to tag one of them before he, you know. We should be able to follow that blood trail. Let's go while it's still fresh. As you and Stella push through the woods, the unearthly sounds once again surround you. Say nothing. You say nothing, continuing forward with grim determination. Gretchen. I smell something terribly foul in the air. Stella, there's a clearing up ahead. Oh, these things are horrible. Stella stops in her tracks a few feet ahead of you. Stella, oh, holy shit, I think I'm gonna be sick. The shrieks pull back into steady whispers as you and Stella stumble upon the putrid bodies of dozens of dead and dying animals. Okay, there is supposedly a mountain lion here. Yep, there sure is. Okay. A sinking realization pulls at your gut. This is their nest, and you are surrounded. Gretchen. What is this horrible place? We need to get out of here! Stella. More of those swellings. All the animals here have them. Or had them. Yeah, all the ones where it's clear that... Yeah, mystical. They want us to leave, Stella. We shouldn't be here. We shouldn't have seen any of this. Stella. Yeah, you're right. We have enough footage. Let's get the hell away from this nest before things get ugly. Just as you follow Stella in a mad dash through the woods, so too do the unearthly hollers and whispers of the nest. In the highest branches of the trees and down on the forest floor, they're all around you, casually keeping pace with your all-out sprint. Stella. We're almost there! As you and Stella reach the main road, the cries of the creatures fade back into the sounds of nature. Good! I hated that soundtrack. Whew! Alright, we're going through to the end of chapter 1, but not further, because... It late! Stella. It sounds like they've stopped following us. Gretchen. I certainly can't smell that stench anymore. Stella. I should get reception now that we're back on the main road. Let me find my phone so I can call the sheriff. You feel a buzz in your pocket. 6 missed calls from Tabitha, and 13 text messages. Including, where are you? Where the hell did you go? I think texting is fine. Like, texting isn't talking. We're gonna say Max is fine texting. It's still gonna be, like, neutral on text, but, like, has the decency to text her to say that that he's okay. You text Tabitha back and let her know that you're okay. Your message sits unread. I tried. Keep it to yourself. You slide your phone back into your pocket. You can deal with Tabitha later. Stella. Alright, let's call the police. Stella pulls out her phone and dials. Stella. Hello, Earl? It's Stella Richmond. I'm up in the mountain on the Askina Trail. Duke is dead, Earl. Shotgun. It happened right in front of us. There's something in the woods. You gotta hurry. Okay, yeah. Are they really gone? Yeah, I think we're okay, but hurry. Jesus, Earl, who's gonna tell Bo? I guess now we wait. It takes a little while, but eventually a patrol car arrives at the scene. Out of it walk 2 officers, Sheriff Hugby, a friendly older man, and Deputy Franklin, a serious man wearing sunglasses despite it being the middle of the night. Stella. See? Right there. A thing jumps out of the woods, and then the shotgun goes off. Sheriff Earl. What in the Sam Hill? What is that? Some kind of Pillsbury Doughboy? Deputy Franklin. Could have been a naked maniac. As the video reveals the creature's nest, Franklin ever so slightly lowers his sunglasses. Or a whole bunch of naked maniacs. Sheriff Earl. What the heck is that? Some sort of prop circle? Stella. They killed Duke. Deputy Franklin. Uh-huh. Now we're gonna have to confiscate this camera, Miss Richmond, if you don't mind. This is evidence. Stella. But okay. Let me just turn it off to save the battery. Here you go, Deputy Franklin. Deputy Franklin. We appreciate your compliance with the law. We'll get a team out in the morning to retrieve the body, but for now, Sheriff Hugby and I... Sheriff Earl. Please, call me Earl. Earl and I will escort you and... Who are you exactly? Stella. That's Max. He came in town today for the funeral. Sheriff Earl. Max? As in... You say nothing. Sheriff Earl. You'll have to pardon my surprise. We just didn't think you'd show. We'll escort you both back to town. If there's a naked maniac on the loose, it's best you don't walk back on your own. Stella. It wasn't a... Never mind. Why aren't you going out there tonight? There's a dead body in the woods. Those things out there could attack someone else. Sheriff Earl. Well, it ain't exactly like old Duke's going anywhere at this point. He'll still be out there in the morning. We only have a skeleton crew at the moment. Oh, the Deputy Franklin. We only have a skeleton crew at the moment. Sheriff Earl. Monday nights are Deputy Derrickson's bowling nights. Deputy Franklin. We'll be on alert for any more reports of naked maniacs, but retrieving Duke will just have to wait. Now, if you'll kindly step into the vehicle, we can return you safely to your home. Stella. Do we have to ride back with you? We can just walk. Those creatures left. We'll be fine. Deputy Franklin. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to insist, for your own safety. Stella sighs. Okay, thank you. Sheriff Earl. You can ride up front with me, little lady. That is, if your mama permits. Gretchen. I certainly cannot turn down some extra pets and affection, especially after the ordeal we've all been through tonight. Stella. Ha, sure, Earl. You can hold Gretchen on the way back to town. He was talking to Gretchen. Deputy Franklin. You two stay out of trouble. We'll have this all sorted out in the morning. Just get a good night's sleep. And you, whatever your name was. Yeah, remain silent. You say nothing. Deputy Franklin. Sure. You're in town for the funeral? Good. Don't you go leaving before then. I imagine we'll need to ask you a few questions about everything you've seen tonight. Stella, keep an eye on him for us. Make sure he doesn't get into any more trouble. Y'all have a good night now. Sheriff Earl. Bye-bye, Gretchy, and y'all have a lovely evening. If any bugaboos give you trouble, you know how to get in touch. And here you are, back in town, away from the woods, with no one but Stella in sight. Stella. Holy shit. Yeah, I do kind of want to... I haven't really followed this pathway, but they do seem a little blasé about everything. Stella. I can't believe... And so, of course, we stay silent, as usual. I can't believe they just implied that you're a suspect, even after we showed them all of that footage. Even after we found that nest. But it's okay. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to you. Gretchen. Nor will I, though I have little understanding of police work. Aw, Gretchen likes us a lot. Stella. I was there. I filmed the whole thing. At the very least, it'll never hold up in court. And it won't get to that point either, because we're going to do a little investigating of our own. We've got to find out more about those things. If we can get clearer footage, or better yet, trap one of them, there's no way they can blame you for what happened. The library doesn't open for a while, but I've read every book on cryptids they have, and I've never come across anything like this. There is someone in town who might have some useful information. My friend's mom. Her place isn't far. We should head over now before it gets any later. I do love the option. Sure, why not? Let's keep this nightmare going. But yeah, silently follow. You silently follow Stella back to town. Stella. I hope she's still awake. Gretchen. There's something foul creeping up behind us. Max. Actually, I feel like I need to do a different voice for that. Stella. Jesus! You and Stella turn to see a shadowy figure staring at you from across the road. You didn't hear it approach. Welcome home. Mystical. Whoever this is, its presence has chilled you to your soul. Before you can respond, the door behind you swings open. An older woman stands in the entryway. Go home, Wayne. I can't help you tonight. You look back and the figure is already gone, disappeared into the shadows of the night. I'm glad, because that was some spooky-ass music. I'm sorry about that, Stella. Some people just can't be helped. What brings you out here so late? And who is this? Stella. Hi, Mrs. Forsythe. This is Max. Is it okay if we come in? Mystical. You and Mrs. Forsythe briefly lock eyes. So blinding and overpowering is her aura that just looking at her feels like staring directly into the sun. Her gaze pierces entirely through you, and in that moment you feel wholly known. And then the moment passes, and you see only the woman before you. Mrs. Forsythe. Of course. You're in luck. I just put on water for hibiscus tea. And for goodness sake, you can call me Sybil. You're an adult now, after all. Welcome to my little nook. This place... Gretchen. This place always has the loveliest aromas. Sybil. It's nice to finally meet you, Max. I was so sorry to hear about your mother. Vivian was such a lovely soul, and she's been sorely missed in the holler. And now poor Pearl Ann is gone as well. Do let me know if there's anything you need while you're in town. Remain silent, as usual. Sybil reaches over and pats your hand delicately. Hers feels like soft parchment paper. Dry, but soothing. Now, what's got you here so late, you two? You seem troubled. Stella. You know about weird stuff, right? Unexplainable stuff? Sybil. I'm not so sure I follow, dear. I know which oils to use for which aches. I know a bit about classical spiritualism. Just what sort of unexplainable things are you talking about? Stella. Duke was killed tonight by something in the woods. Sybil. Oh, my lord! Have you contacted the police? Stella. Yes, and they didn't take it very seriously. They're not even looking for the body until tomorrow. Those things out there, I don't even know how to describe them. Sybil. I can't say I know much about the local wildlife. My daughter has always had a brighter gift for nature than I. Stella. This wasn't the local wildlife, Mrs. Forsythe. Here, I can show you. Stella pulls a memory card out from her sleeve and pops it into her phone. I wasn't about to just let the police hold on to this, at least not before we had a chance to make a copy. Say nothing. You say nothing. Sybil. Silence. Silence as she continues watching. Sybil. Where was this? Stella. Up the mountain to the northeast. Sybil. Within the town limits? Stella. Yes. Sybil. I see. Is there a way to make the video bigger? And louder if you can? Stella. I'd need to plug the memory card into a computer. I could go back and get mine. Sybil. No need. Kanika should be awake. She can lend us hers. Gretchen. Kanika? Are we seeing Kanika? Sybil. You'd better come with, Stella. I'm sure she'll be more willing to help a friend than her nosy mother. Kanika, come on out. We could use a little help. Kanika. What, Mom? Oh. Hey, Stella. And Gretchen, who's a good potato? Gretchen. Kanika, is it me? Am I the good potato? I most certainly hope I am. Gretchen brings me joy. Kanika. And a stranger? What are you doing in my house? You're too tired to answer that question. Stella. This is Max. Kanika. Tabitha's cousin? Stella. Yep. Sybil. Sweetie, we were wondering if we could borrow your laptop. Stella and her friends have a video to show us. Stella. It's really important, Kanika. Kanika. Silence. Okay. My room's a mess. I'll just bring it out there. Stella. Heads up, Kanika. This is graphic. Duke got killed out in the woods tonight. It's on the recording. Kanika. Wait, are you serious? Duke's dead? Stella. We can watch this without you. Kanika. You know I have a harder stomach than any of our friends. I'm pressing play. Silence washes over the room as the video plays. Kanika. Stella, what the hell is this? Sybil. Silence. Gretchen. This is far beyond my ability to contribute. I'll leave the thinking to you humans. Stella. I'm sorry either of you had to see this, but Max and I have no idea how to make heads or tails of it. Kanika. Stella, are you okay? Did you get hurt? Stella. I'm fine. Really, I'm okay. Remain silent. You remain silent. Kanika. Poor Duke. Poor Beau. Has anyone told him yet? Stella. We talked to the police. I hope they told Beau, but Earl and Deputy Franklin didn't seem to be in much of a hurry to do anything. Sybil. I'll call him later tonight. But for now, we have something far more serious to discuss. Mystical. What happened in the woods? Oh, whatever happened in the woods, we weren't supposed to see any of that. Sybil. You're not wrong. These things, my grandmother called them ditchlings. They are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Kanika. Mom, come on. Whatever's doing this is serious. Stop scaring Stella and Max with this taily-po crap. I do love her Sailor Moon shirt, by the way. A man just died. Have some respect. Sybil. Kanika, sweetie, let your mother talk. The creatures themselves are harmless to people, despite that grisly scene in the woods. Stella. How can you say that? Duke is dead. Sybil. An unfortunate accident and nothing more. Just as birds flock before a storm, the ditchlings congregate where a tragedy is soon to fall. To see one is to be cursed by fate. To see so many in one place is... Sybil holds her silence. Kanika. Jesus, Mom, they've clearly had a rough night. They don't need this... Stella. It's okay, Kanika. This is helpful. Kanika. Stella, whatever these things are, they aren't magic. Stella. We can't rule that out. Not after what we saw. But fine, let's focus on what we know. Whatever they are, they're doing something to these animals. You saw that nest. What were those growths? Okay, there is a talk to animals and mystical. Max, I have to agree with Sybil. I could clearly hear them telling us that this place is cursed and to get out while we still can. Spooky stuff. Stella. Wait, are you serious? I couldn't make out anything. It was all just garbled whispering to me. Sybil. How interesting. Kanika. Are you sure you're not just subconsciously rewriting your memories to match my mom's theories? Even if we were to assume, for a moment, that you and my mom are right, I'd still want to know what they're doing in the woods. I'm very sure I'm not rewriting my perceptions, but, you know, I'm the player, so. Anyway, Kanika continues. Maybe what we're seeing here is some sort of parasitic larval stage, part of their life cycle. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions about something this out there, not without doing some research or talking to a biologist. I'm sure there's a rational explanation that'll clear all of this up. Sybil. Silence. Oh dear, I'd forgotten entirely about the tea I'd put on. Let me fix you up a couple of cups. It'll help soothe your nerves. Yes, you're right, Tapao. It does confirm that it is speak to animals that gave us the words. It made a lot of... As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh shit, that has to be why I'm hearing the words so clearly. I would, especially as I continued to let it play, like, I would so have noticed that if it had been clear like that before. I remember stopping to listen to see if it was saying anything clear, and it specifically wasn't before, so... Let's see... but the very fact that I sat there and thought, oh, I must just not have done a good enough job listening, proves that Kanika's not wrong. People can rewrite their perceptions pretty easily. Anyway, shoot, I think I just skipped over whatever Sybil just... Oh, no, she said, I'd forgotten entirely about the tea I put on. Let me fix you up a couple cups. It'll help soothe your nerves. Stella. I don't know. It's getting late, and I should let Max get some rest. I ran him ragged today with all the hiking and running through the woods in terror. Excuse me. Remain silent. OMG, not even kidding there. Yeah. Stella. Thanks for everything, you two. Sybil. Let me get you some of my house-made peppermint tea to go. It really does wonders to soothe the soul. Kanika. Bye, Stella. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? And call me if you need to talk. Stella. Thanks, Kanika. I'll see ya. Kanika. Bye, Max. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Confirmation bias is what you're talking about. People shown photos of car accidents and then asked to describe them later all report broken glass, regardless of if there was any, because there is supposed to be broken glass. Same reason people report that muggers had darker skin, because they presume the mugger was dark-skinned or African-American or whatever, or similar, and then they rewrite memories to fit. Yep, I was actually just reading, or maybe watching, I think Tom was watching something on YouTube that was talking a bit about that, where it's like, I don't remember what the thing was, but it was talking about how, you know, your brain takes in, like, I was reading something about implicit bias, and it was like, your brain takes in thousands of signals. It cannot possibly process all of those things. So it kind of has set patterns that it's like, okay, I'm gonna just filter that through this pattern that I've created for it and not actually try to process all those billions of individual details. And there are some cases where that's okay. There are other cases where it causes huge problems. Like the thing you said about, like, that's exactly how racial implicit bias happens, because people hear, like, you know, get told stories about, you know, or see media, or, you know, consume something in our society that implies that criminals are more likely, black people are more likely to be criminals, and then they're like, oh, it was a criminal, cool, throw that through my pattern recognition database, and my pattern recognition database has this data point that criminals are more likely to have dark skin. So clearly they must have had dark skin, even though that's literally false. It's really messed up. It's really fucked up, but brains really do that. And so that's why recognizing implicit bias is so fucking important, because you can totally rewrite those patterns, or you can recognize that those patterns have happened and not act on them. But you have to know that that is a thing that happens, and you have to seriously be like, wait, am I sure that that is the and especially anything that has to do with like racism or discrimination or anything like that, you really got to stop and question, hey, am I sure that that happened the way I think it happened, or am I rewriting shit? So yeah, fair. You can't rewrite them. Yeah, you can choose not to act on them. Also, hi, welcome to literally my job. Fair. But I mean, there is actually some research done that you have to like put a lot of effort into changing it, but like there are degrees to which you can change your brain's pattern matching. You just have to put you have to go out of your way and put a lot of effort into it and do it for a long time to like create a new pattern. I read some examples online, but I don't really. Yeah, it's a shitty thing that brains do, and it's important to be aware that that's a shitty thing your brain might do, and try to recognize it and not automatically act on it. And, similarly, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I actually totally recommend people look up implicit bias and the causes, and the science behind it is kind of interesting, actually, and it's just really good stuff to be aware of. Oh, fair. Depends on the type of pattern matching. If it stems from evolutionary selection, not so much. But if it's more race-related, then yeah, you can totally make it less and redo it. Yeah, and that's what I mean. The stuff that's really bad, the stuff that's implicit bias, unconscious racism, basically is the sort of shit where you should make that conscious and then try to change those patterns in your brain. But yeah, it is overall like an interesting topic in terms of just how brains work. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Back on you can change it if it's more race related, because there's nothing that made us evolve to think people with darker skin are bad. So we will always prejudge, but we don't have to prejudge that way. Exactly, Tafao. Agreed. Anyway, so don't mind our like brain science and racial justice side note. I think it was a valid one to make, but I am going to go back to the game because it's quite late and I should sleep soon. All right, so Sybil has just given us some tea and says it's excellent iced or warm, though with the nights getting chillier, warm will probably be best. Helps wake up the bones. Sybil, silence. Be careful out there, both of you. Sybil turns and closes the door behind her. Gretchen. What an unfortunately short visit. Stella. Alrighty, let's head back home. My home, I mean. And here we are. You're welcome to stay the night if you want. Oh, gosh. I have never done the stay at Stella's house option, and I am curious to it. Oh, yes, welcome to your soapbox. I mean, it's a valid and important soapbox, so. Yeah. It follows my flowchart. Is there a talk to animals or a mystical? No. Is there a silent option? Yes. Choose silent option. So we're doing it. We're doing it. Because Max doesn't like talking. And yes, so I like coming up with little headcanons for why he is choosing the thing that also happens to be the silent option, other than just doesn't like talking to people. But in this case, it's like, I don't want to walk home through those woods late at night by myself. That sounds terrible. And that's what's running through Max's head in my headcanon. For, you're welcome to stay the night if you want. Yes. You silently nod. Stella says, cool. It doesn't take long for Stella to fix up the guest room for you. While it's certainly smaller than its counterpart at the estate, it's far better cared for. Gretchen. It's so exciting to have a guest. I can't remember the last time we've had company. Stella. Make yourself at home. Oh, I wanna all of this. I wanna all of this, but nope, we're playing Max. Max doesn't do these. Ha! Apparently if you're hot, you can choose to sleep in the same bed. Fair. Yeah, but that's not the goal. I'm not necessarily, I don't have an idea for where I might go with a romance route for this character yet, but this is not a because I was interested in romance choice. So, I will occasionally make exceptions to the flowchart, and that is, I'll try to keep it to a minimum, so I'm not going to do all of these explores. However, I'm going to actually save here just so I can do those on my own at some later point. How do I do a quick save? Oh, hey, look at that. Bam. Quick saved. So, sorry, T'Pau, I will do those off stream because it doesn't work for my concept run. However, I think even Silent Max will be responsible enough to say I should probably try calling Tabitha. So, Max says, I should probably try calling Tabitha. Stella. Right, she'd probably like to know you're not dead. Get some rest, Max. I'll see you in the morning. Gretchen. I'm on the verge of passing out myself. What an exciting, if terrible day. You pull out your phone and call your cousin. It rings for a moment before she picks up. Tabitha. Where the hell have you been? This is amazing. Oh, these options are fun. So we'll go through these options, but I'll probably be silent, actually. But, well, I mean, maybe then again, like, literally Max called her to tell her that everything's fine. So I'm not going to do the explore, because those are extra words. Why would Max ever use extra words that weren't mystical? With a person, at least. Obviously, I'm not going to hang up on her, though it's a funny option. I watched a man die tonight. Might actually kind of work for the mystical option, but I think that will just raise more questions. Hi, Tabby! No, that is not what our Max would answer. Though it's a funny option. It's the, hi, I met Stella option. I saw horrible things tonight. I want to leave. Look, I got suckered into something. It was weird. I met this girl in town and we hit it off. None of your business, or say nothing. Alright, so since I've already made an exception to the say nothing policy, I am going to try and pick the most simplest answer. Because I think I saw horrible things tonight, because that still feels like it sort of fits with the sort of ominous, spooky, mystical things that I have allowed Max to say. So, I went into the woods with this girl I met to find some cryptids, and a lot of really terrible things happened. Tabitha. Ah, so you met Stella then. Ugh, that explains everything, and she's gotten you all worked up. I'm going to bed. I'll collect you tomorrow. Okay, she's picked up. Cool. That was exactly how I wanted that phone call to go. I said at most a couple of sentences. So, I saw a very basic explanation of met girl, went into woods to hunt cryptids, horrible things happened. Tabitha's like, got it, all I needed to know, I'll pick you up tomorrow. I did not even have to explain that I was staying at Stella's. Like, I actually kind of appreciate that, because honestly, in retrospect, I keep choosing to, like, go back up to the estate because I'm, like, afraid Tabitha will be worried, but, like, honestly, I feel, when I think about it, I think if you're already out this late, I think she'd be just as happy to hear that you're staying at someone else's house and not trying to walk home in the dark through, you know, like, a good mile or more of woods by yourself. So yeah, I don't even feel that bad. From the comfort of Stella's guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and you're warm. Eventually, the sun will rise and chase away the monsters, and make them seem like nothing but bad dreams. Maybe tomorrow, if you're lucky, you'll wake up in the normal world and have a nice, relaxing weekend in the mountains with a new friend. It's a nice thought, but deep down you can't help but worry that things will only get worse. From behind closed doors, you can faintly hear the sounds of quiet sobs. She saw a dude she's probably known all her life die a horrible death. She's gonna cry. Poor Stella. Oh, thanks! Thanks, game! Thanks for those spooky eyes in the woods. Alright, so we've reached the end of chapter 1, so we're gonna watch this. So that's the town hall. I do look forward to mating the dogmare with talk to animals. So that's in the library, I think. Don't know what that base... Oh, is that Reese? Yeah, having seen your chapter 3, I think that's Reese. And he is crying. I think, anyway. Okay, that's a bedroom with a bloodstain. Not sure. Oh, that might be... no, I'm not quite sure. Some creepy... or some... No, there's some totally normal animals. But a creepy eyes in the spooky hollow. Then, you know, Pumpkin. Spooky mine. That's a definite foreshadowing to chapter 2. Oh, I don't like the way that door opens. Oh, I don't like the opening into sheer darkness. Oh, I don't like that person standing in the corner. Some of this feels like it's hinting at things that don't happen till chapter 3. I mean, I actually wouldn't be surprised if this is hinting at things from, like, the whole story, because, like, we know that this door exists, but as far as I know, all the way up through chapter 3, we still haven't learned much about it, because it seems like it's in the estate, and it's something we're gonna find out later. Oh boy. I'm gonna just... So reflecting back on... I was just thinking about this, you know, mysterious person that lives in the estate. I got the Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way for finishing chapter 1 with Mystic. Achievement. I have already acquired a lot of achievements. I have found 32 out of 97. I may end up playing this game enough to find all of them. So yeah, that'll be a whole adventure. Okay, cool. So this was a lot of fun. I will maybe... So I'm still going to do my official run at a more sane time of night. I've done a whole lot of... like I said, I have like... Okay, so I have Pengu the Thembo. I have my own personal run. My first run that I did, then I have the run with the street smarts and so this is my 4th? Oh, and the cameras. I have 5. I have 5 runs that I'm all actively in the middle of, and I haven't gotten past chapter 1 with many of them, but like 5 runs is enough to get a lot of things. So, especially when part of the point of all those runs is to see different options. So, that's what I've done. This is the end of episode 1. Episode 2 awaits! So we're gonna save here. Gosh, where am I gonna put... Let's maybe start from the end for this one? Because I'm actually secretly running out of... So this is where the Pingu saves go. But then this is where the Karen run saves go. And then I think I put the... This is the one who has street smarts and powerful build. I called her Rose. And then this is my personal run. Which has lots of saves. These ones aren't as relevant. They're just spare saves. So... Oh, wait. Is there infinite pages? That's weird. I don't know why that feels weird and strange to me, but we're going to just assume slot 9. Since I can't click further than 9, I am afraid that's a typo, and I don't want to lose my saves. So we're going to save it at the very end. So Max's run is there. I'm going to keep this as a occasional crazy late night thing to do. Honestly, maybe it's something but I will only do it... Right, so my official run for this game is on... that's fine. My official run for this game is every other Sunday. So not tomorrow. So I'm not going to be doing it tomorrow, but I'll be doing my Pingu run again next Sunday. So This one is just going to be when I feel like it. If you want to follow the story properly, you should watch my Pengu run, which is my Thembo, and that the non-binary himbo, and that. So I will be next doing that about a week from today, and I do that on Sunday. So like I said, every other Sunday, not this one, but the next one, at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And so yeah, that is the one you should follow if you want to follow the story. You can always check the VODs. This one I will guerrilla stream when I feel like, basically. Yeah, because this one I don't mind sharing, like, because it's an interesting concept run, and so I think that is kind of fun to stream, but it's one that I'm not gonna like prioritize as because I'm doing it for the concept more than for the story, which means I'm actually skipping a lot of story options, so it's not like the run I'd want as my main streamed option for this, so it shan't be. But anyway, gosh, chapter 1 is awful long. It is late, and I am going the heck to bed, and so should anyone in my time zone, Tapow. Yeah, so thank you for hanging out with me. I definitely could not have done this whole chapter at this time of night by myself. Like, I would have been way too scared. But, like, doing it live on stream and having, at least knowing that, I actually had a bunch of, at some point I had, like, up to 6 viewers. And I was like, oh, hey, people are finding this cool to watch. I'm really glad. So if you're here and you're having fun watching me play this game, I'm happy to have you here. Yeah, this was a fun run. I agree. So thank you so much for everyone who was here. I mean, most especially to Pao for being my, like, sort of emotional support chatter. And in that, reminding me that I am not just sitting alone in my room at night. There are other people who exist in the world. And also for every single viewer who was here, even just lurking, because that was, honestly looking over and seeing that my viewer count was actually honestly higher than it normally is, was kind of also made it less scary. I'm like, okay, it made me feel like, really genuinely made me feel like I was less alone, and therefore less scared. So it's double extra thank you for any lurkers for this stream. But also, of course, thank you if you're watching this video later. I appreciate that you think that I am interesting enough to watch me play games. Yeah, so I will be back. My next normal stream is going to be Cinderella Phenomenon on Monday, and that'll be chapter 1, which is technically the second chapter of the game because we did the prologue last Monday. So yeah, so thank you for encouraging me to do this, Tapao. This was fun, and I am glad that you also were able to watch this one without me having to, like, record each one of my runs by myself. But yeah, nah, this was cool, and I will definitely do it again at some point, but I will only do it, like I said, I'm going to guerrilla stream it, but, like, pretty specifically, at some point when I know you are available and you egg me on to do it is probably when I'll do the next run of the next stream of the Max run of Scarlet Hollow. So yeah, good night! I'm gonna quit out of this game because the sound even in the menu screen is a little spooky. There we go. Yes, I am sure I at least want the music to go away. Good night! I'll have to remember to change my video thing back to the... Aw, that was actually kind of nice. I closed out the video and you all can't see it, but it immediately popped up my cute little desktop wallpaper of penguins. That was a nice sight to see. Good way to be less scared. Alright, so, yes, I am gonna sign off and go to bed. So, thank you again, everyone, so much. And if I'm rambling more than usual, it's because it's late and I'm tired and my brain keeps spinning in circles. So yes, I'm gonna stop the stream and I'm gonna go to bed and try to not be terrified of walking down the hallway. But that's why I left all the lights on, so it should be fine. Good night!